Welcome to the Show Day podcast for July 2nd, 2019. Last night we had two shows, one in Mesa, Arizona, before some Pacific Coast Corps come east, and we also had a show in Lynn, Massachusetts to start off the month of July. Tonight, we have a show at one of the premier stadiums on tour in MetLife Stadium and also another show in Wisconsin. All that plus more on today's Show Day podcast. So as I said, we had one show in Massachusetts last night. It was the BEANPOT in Lynn, Massachusetts. Two open class corps were in attendance, the Spartans and 7th Regiment. General effect, Spartans win 23.7 to a 21.4 for 7th Regiment. Visual, this really was 7th Regiment's strongest caption because of them winning color guard over the Spartans. They won color guard by a point, 11-9 to a 10-9. Overall visual scores, though, 7th Regiment still does not come very close to winning. Spartans 17-6-5. You have to go a point back to 7th Regiment, who had a 16-6-5. And then in music, Spartans still holding steady, all ones, a 19.1 in music overall for the Spartans, which is a very strong score for them right now. And 7th Regiment also with the 17-7. So Spartans finish off with a 60.45. That's about a point or so of an improvement over their first show in Lawrence on Saturday. 7th Regiment, they make big gains. They go from about a 52 to a 55.75. So really, as I said, 7th Regiment will gain points back during the season. I believe they finished 6th last year, if I'm not mistaken, in open class, but they still finished strong regardless. So I'm sure that they will be maybe a medal contender this year in open class, as long as they can maybe gain a little bit of that advantage or that margin to the Spartans. They can kind of close that. This could also be that the Spartans are really good. I have not seen the show, so I can't judge that, at least at this point. But this could be that the Spartans are just really good as well. The Spartans, they take a break until July 17th in Augusta, New Jersey, rehearsals, off days, etc. And then 7th Regiment, they'll be back in action tonight in East Rutherford. On the world-class side of things in Lynn, not really much to talk about because the three corps in attendance are not very close to each other. You have the Bluecoats, who are really a title contender, the Cadets, who are kind of in that next block, like going for 7th kind of, and really the Cadet scores have been really good. I don't know if it's that they're inflated or that they're literally that good at this point, but maybe they could contend for 6th. I don't know, at least right now. And then Music City, who's kind of in that, like, right above some, like, semifinals lock, but still not, like, top 20. So really not a whole lot to talk about. General effect, Bluecoats a 32.9, Cadets 30.2, Music City 25.3. Go over to visual. We have the Bluecoats at a 24.4, the Cadets at a 22.65, and Music City at an 18.9. Let's take the Bluecoats as the champions, or at least one of the top 3 at this point. You see their color guard score, 16.2, the Cadets there at a 15.2. Basically, the point I'm trying to make here is that the Cadets' color guard has not been tremendously strong so far this year. And for them to still be sitting only a point behind the Bluecoats, that is kind of, like, I'd say a point is kind of where it's like, okay, we're still on the okay side of not kind of losing too many points in visual. In music, again, all Bluecoats ones. Bluecoats win brass by 1.1. They do only win percussion by 0.2, but that is really because the Cadets' percussion is so strong this year. I mean, they're defeating Boston. We haven't really seen them against anybody else other than the Bluecoats in the past few days. But I'm sure once they mix them with some other corps, they'll be right there. 24.45 music total for the Bluecoats, 23.4 for the Cadets, and the 20.1 for Music City. Overall final scores, the Bluecoats do break 80, and they go right past that 81.75 last night. They're almost to 82, and it's July 1st. That's saying something for them. The Cadets 76.25, above 75. That's, I think, the right around where they need to and should be right now. And Music City down there at a 64.3. They really need to surge past 65 in the coming days in order to catch, say, Pacific Crest or Troopers or Corps they're going to be going after this season. Second show last night was Drums Across the Desert in Mesa, Arizona. I know I had said in the season preview, my season preview podcast, that DCI had done away with the 5-judge panels. I'm assuming because this was such a small show, kind of in the middle of nowhere too, in the middle of Arizona, 4 Corps, I guess DCI did just make the decision to have only 5 judges here. So, on the recap, we are missing a visual proficiency judge, a color guard judge, and a music brass judge. But aside from that, kind of take this for what we can. Santa Clara Vanguard, they win this show with a 79.7. Just to kind of look at some of the captions here that we kind of can judge from. You see general effect. Less than a point separates them and the Cavaliers. That's the Cavaliers kind of staying in it. And really, as I've said since the beginning, and a lot of others have said it too, who knows how the top 6 finish? I mean, I don't think the Cavaliers are going to win necessarily, but they could finish 4th. They could finish 3rd for all we know. We really don't know anything until, as I keep saying, August 8th through the 10th. Go over to visual, not really anything to judge from here because of having only 1 visual judge. Music, percussion, Vanguard 6/10 above the Cavaliers. That, I think, is a okay margin for the Cavaliers right now to be 6/10 behind Vanguard, saying that the Cavaliers were behind the Blue Knights the night before in San Bernardino. The other little thing I want to talk about here is the Bluecoats are at a 16.5 in percussion, like I just had said, and the Cadets are a 16.3. Now, maybe it's that those scores are inflated, which I kind of think they are, or maybe these are lower than they should be, but those are a little over Vanguard's, like 6/10. And so really what I'm trying to say is I think that some of these scores might be equal to Vanguard in percussion, and percussion's always the toss-up caption. Nobody really knows who's really going to win that till the end of the year, other than when Vanguard runs away with it. Just 2 more things to talk about on this recap, and that is the Troopers and Academy. Academy is not being able to jump into the 68. So we're seeing this with a lot of Corps right now. They're stalling out at a certain point value and cannot move ahead. The Academy is almost being caught by the Troopers in some of these captions, and are in some. So really, we're going to have to keep watching this, see if the Troopers can maybe climb up the rankings a bit. So here's the DCI World Class Leaderboard as of last night. You see the most recent scores and the next show. So we've got the Bluecoats, Boston Crusaders, Cadets, and Music City, and also Jersey Surf joining in the action tonight in East Rutherford, which I'll talk about in a minute. We've also got other Corps competing in Wausau, Wisconsin tonight, and also other Corps who have a variety of different things. We've got some going up to the Pacific Northwest, the Blue Devils, the Blue Knights, etc. And we've also got some Corps going down south. Carolina Crown, Spirit of Atlanta. Their next show is Lexington on Friday. Now, some other Corps will join them. The Boston Crusaders go down there, Music City goes down there, a few others go down to the southeast, and we also have some other Corps that are kind of in a variety of different things. Sacramento's their next show, Cedarburg's their next show, so just a variety of different things happening right now. The Bluecoats, they continue to pull away, though. An 81.75 to a 79.7. Even if you think, okay, maybe the Bluecoat scores are inflated by 2 points over Vanguard's, they're still ahead if you take 2 points away from the Bluecoats. So it's just going to have to be something we watch. I don't necessarily think the Bluecoats are a mile ahead of Vanguard and the Blue Devils, as these scores have showed. But I think we just need to see the Bluecoats kind of go against some of these other cores, and we'll see it in the coming days and weeks with them going head to head with Vanguard, Blue Devils, etc. So our first of 2 shows tonight is Drum Corps and American Tradition in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Everything starts at about 7:30 Eastern Time with the Welcome and National Anthem. Then we'll have 3 open class corps in attendance here: Encore, the Raiders, and 7th Regiment. Can 7th Regiment continue upon the success that they built for themselves last night? That's kind of their key. The Raiders, can they continue upward of 50? And also Encore, kind of just get that second ever performance under their belt as an open class corps. And really, I think their whole goal is everything about like the performance experience and having the fun of the DCI tour, not necessarily more competitive goals. We have 5 world-class corps here as well, starting off with Jersey Surf at 826. They are making their season debut, as I had said. If they can be above 55, break 60, I'm not really sure where they're going to fall in, but if they can do either of those things, it's looking okay for them. Music City, be above Surf, obviously, and try to break 65, because they've stalled out 62, 63, 64. They can't jump up to kind of that next level into 65, 66 point range. Boston and the Bluecoats and the Cadets, of course, we're going to see that battle for percussion again, and also the Bluecoats and Boston going head-to-head again. Boston's had 2 rehearsal days. Can they maybe close that gap? It was like 1.6 the other night. Can they close that in? As long as Boston stays somewhere within the 1 to 2 point range and does not fall out of that, they're fine. If they fall out of the into the 2.3 point range, then I think the Boston Crusaders have a little bit of a challenge ahead of them. And then the Cadets continue above 75, maybe get to 77 or 78 tonight. This show definitely is one of the premier events, or premier stadiums at least on the schedule, hosted by the Cadets tonight at MetLife Stadium. Really just a good venue for a drum corps show. Drum Corps and American Tradition at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The weather forecast is listed here. It seems as though there's a chance of storms kind of before the event, like 2 o'clock-ish, and then also a chance of storms maybe later, like 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, but after the show. So it does look that during the show it will be pretty good weather conditions, but of course, fingers crossed that weather does not interfere in this show at all, because of course it would be amazing for us to see the corps under the lights at MetLife Stadium. I'll be at this one. Definitely looking forward to seeing all of those 8 corps in action tonight. Second show, the Northwoods Encore in Schofield, Wisconsin. 7 o'clock Central Time is the Welcome and National Anthem. We have 2 open class corps in attendance here. Good representation of open class once again. We've got the Colt Cadets and River City Rhythm. These 2 have been close, and they've also been spread out. Kind of, they start off close and then they spread out as the season goes on. Which of those will apply to, tonight? I have no idea. But kind of just River City Rhythm, get your first performance under your belt. Their show, Breaking the News, looks to be a pretty good and well-designed show. If they can kind of have a good show, maybe break upper 50s, 55 and above, that'd be a really good show. But even if you can just break 50, that would be good for them as well. Colt Cadets, I would like them to kind of make a move and maybe jump up into the 50s as well. Then we also have these 4 world-class corps here: Eliminate Spirit and Phantom and the and Carolina Crown, who we've been seeing with these 4 cores. Just these 4 at the event tonight. Colts go on before intermission, and then we've got Crossman, Blue Stars, and Madison. The big thing at this one is stuff's going to be kind of skewed, and not with Crossman and Blue Stars, because that's the kind of the battle to watch at this one, with if the Crossman can close in at least. And then the Colts and Madison. Colts go on before intermission, but because it's Madison's home show, they get to go on last. So really, I'm not going to take too much from this event with the Colts and Madison, because I'm sure the Madison Scouts are going to be a lot closer to the Colts than maybe we expect them to be. This show here is at SCHOFIELD Stadium in Schofield, Wisconsin. The weather for this show looks to be good. Again, like I said at the MetLife event, it kind of looks to be maybe a little stormier maybe before and after, but during the show, the rain chances definitely go down, and it looks like we will get this event in Wisconsin. Thank you for watching the podcast today. Just a few things. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorecentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the DCI and DCA summer tours. Scores, schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found at my own personal website about all things drum corps. Make sure to follow me on numerous social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Drum Corps Geek, and subscribe to the Show Day podcast on YouTube, where this podcast and more will be posted. And finally, please leave your thoughts in the comment sections. Questions, input, comments, etc. would all be greatly appreciated. As I said, I'll be at the East Rutherford MetLife Stadium show tonight. Looking forward to seeing my fellow Drum Corps fans there. So thanks for watching the podcast today, and have a great rest of your day.